So it's probably been a couple weeks now since I got out on the water and did a scum run. It's just, it's nasty. So I floated the question out to a friend of mine for what he thought would be good to kind of pull out more than I was able to with just a bucket and a skimmer. And he said he used a chain link fence on his grandfather's pond. I'm not buying a chain link fence, but so poked around in the garage, found some materials. Here's what I came up with. The Scum skimmer. That's right, here's some of the raw materials I used. So I had to crimp that down so it went around this chicken wire. Screwed it down with some sheet metal screws. Also went to Ace, got some garage door handles. And then the coup de grace here, the pool noodle and the spools that I fabricated so I could store the rope. Nice and neat. Drops down about 48 inches. We're gonna see if it's very productive out in the wild, if you like. So something I want to take note of here, other than how horribly worn my jeans are in this shot, but there's an immediate drop off in the water line in this area. I'd say 6 feet, but let's say 4 for sake of not wanting to exaggerate. So here's the result of not realizing that. Damn, that's deep. Anyway, I'm just testing out the pool skimmer here for the first time, and I'm taking out what I later found to be a toxic algae bloom that's sprung up in a lot of the different water features in the county. So here's my first run through with the scum skimmer, landing perpendicular to my position versus parallel. And it's just the perfect example of how things don't go the idealized way you imagine they should. That was anticlimactic. So here I am with a more idealized expectation of how I wanted the screen to land in the water. But no sooner as I go to plan and I'm presented with the question of how to retrieve the thing without going in after it. But not too long after working through that tenuous prospect, I just so happened to chance into finding the best way to deploy and utilize the screen. Happy accident. Which, as sometimes happens, manifested from a random throw where the bottom of the screen landed on the top of the rope. So what's the point of all this, right? But what I failed to mention in the lead up was the primary intention in making this screen was to have something to pull behind the kayak while I'm out on the water. This whole thing is just a proof of concept. So all that said, I would say the screen fulfills its intended function pretty well, but strictly for use from the shore. In terms of towing, it would just take too much work to employ. Anyway, that's it folks, my excursion with the scum skimmer. Not what one might call a resounding success, as it doesn't really capture the below surface filth I was hoping it would. But it did help me better discern what obstacles were to be encountered, and ease of use capabilities I'd need to further refine and incorporate if I really do want to continue developing a device to drag behind a kayak. And maybe most importantly, where to cinch your belt to better wear your jeans.